What's up, Saber buddies? Richie here, and today I'm showing you the lightsaber that started it all for me. This was my very first Master Replicas Force Effect saber. This is the 2003 Darth Vader A New Hope saber, and my friends got this for me as a gift, and I absolutely loved it. And I used it a lot, and like so many of us, I broke it because it wasn't very sturdy, it was not duel worthy, and dueling with my friends, I cracked the whole blade off. So what I did was I just yanked the blade out. There were some wires in here. I tucked them in there and made this a shelf piece, and it still looked cool. And occasionally for Halloween, I would wear this as a prop. But other than that, non-functional. So then I heard about you guys doing all this crazy stuff with conversions and custom installs, and I looked into it, I read the forums, and I found out that I could restore this from trash and make it functional again. So I checked out the Custom Saber Shop, and I used their tutorial video on converting this, but there was a little bit of a problem. This is the first version of the Darth Vader lightsaber, and the ignition switch is here instead of here, or in here somewhere. Some of them do that. So that was a challenge for me, and I did not know how to handle the clamp yet. So this is like my first conversion, and this is my learning saber. I've made all my mistakes on this saber, but I really like it, and I'm really happy with it because it's mine. So originally, I used the internal soundboard and just put a regular, 3-watt Rebel in here, and it worked great. But then the soundboard died, and I had to do a complete, install, gutted everything, and that's where it's at now. So let me talk to you about what broke and the mistakes I made and how I got over them and what's in here. So starting from the Emitter Shroud, this totally cracked, as you could see, and there was another black piece that went over here, and that cracked, so that's gone. And to salvage this one, my cousin, who is a very handy guy, he put a little metal rod through that, as you can see. And when the retention screw goes in, the rod won't allow this to slip off. So it was a good fix, and it works really great. I understand that Goth 3 Designs makes a replacement for this, so when this totally cracks, I'll be replacing this. But for now, it's really fine. Inside here, as I mentioned, is the Custom Saber Shop's Vader Conversion Kit, which everything lined up nicely. The alternative to that would have been the Mace Windu kit, and that allows you to have a switch up here, but the blade depth isn't as deep. It's a shallower blade holder, so I wanted the longer one. Over here is where I put the switch. And originally this was a latching switch when it was a straight up conversion with the original soundboard. But since then I've changed this to a momentary switch, and I didn't have the proper drill bit. Like I said, this is my mistake lightsaber. I didn't have the proper drill bit when I did it, so it's sort of a sloppy, sloppy routing job there. But to get over that, or to overcome that, I used these O-rings. And I think that's really cool. I like that feature. And really, as much of a stickler as I am for movie accuracy, I think this is cool, and this really doesn't bother me over here. It's kind of discreetly placed, and it feels nice, and I don't accidentally hit this because of the clamp and whatever. And like I said before, this is the A New Hope version, so this has the shorter grips. And in here, I put the Custom Saber Shop 2-watt bass speaker. Installed a Nano Biscotti V3 inside here. In the emitter, we have a Tri-Cree red, white, with the white as Flash on Clash. And I have the two fonts I have in here are, I think this Bank 2 default Nano Biscotti, which is dark meat, I believe, whatever the higher pitched one is. And I got Mad Cow's Vader OT, Vader Original Trilogy, and it really sounds great. So let's fire this up. Everybody knows what this red looks like, and it's really nice. The cool thing about Mad Cow's font is that it was made for the Crystal Focus, so there are 16 different clashes and swings, and there are 4 different ignition sounds, so you can really, since the Nano Biscotti doesn't have that many slots, you can actually choose which ones you want and really customize the way it sounds. So I kind of like that. Another interesting thing I did here Get this out. I hate when it happens. Well, anyway, here. Okay, so what I did was I actually ended up using the original speaker holder from the Vader saber. I chopped it off of the original chassis that was in there. And here's a regular, you know, custom saber shop chassis. Oh, no in-hilt recharge on this. This is a removable battery, and that works just fine for this. Like I said, this is my first saber, so I wasn't really up to in-hilt recharge. But the 2-watt bass speaker actually fits perfectly inside the original speaker holder from the saber, the plastic one. So I also used Mad Cow's speaker tutorial. I put the putty all around this and some foam behind it, and the sound is wonderful on this. It's really, really good. So let me close this up. Oh, and also a little thing I like to do is I like to put some craft foam around the pommel cap. Just, you know, reduces rattle and gives you some good isolation and nice, just good sound. So that was the first font. Here's the other font. And that's just a Nano Biscotti one that everybody knows. And that sounds fine in here, but Mad Cow's font really screams in this saber. And another thing I like about these flash gun Master Replicas sabers is that the dimensions aren't really chunky. They're not too chunky. They feel right. If you put them next to a Graflex 2.0, it's not really that much bigger, and it just feels right, as opposed to their thin necks, which are ridiculous. The Mace Windu is ridiculous, but this is a good prop. You know, this is a good replica, in my opinion. I mean, maybe there are some little things here or there, like the plastic or the quality of the rubber, but really that's nitpicking, and I think they did a really good job with this and their Graflex copies. So let's put a blade in. This is a Ultra Sabres blade that I have right now. There's that flash on clash. You're really not getting it on the camera. The camera has a hard time picking up red, but you know, like, you can really see the shade there and the reflection on the mat. So that's it. That is my 2003 Master Replicas A New Hope Darth Vader lightsaber. And this is my learning lightsaber, my mistake lightsaber, but I love it just the same. So thanks for watching, guys.